just about 6 minutes to convey a message as to how to manage waste in a smart way in a smart city. I represent Geocycle India. My name is Ulhas Parlikar. Geocycle India is a brand for managing waste. We belong to Lafarge Holcim, which is a global company, world's largest cement company. In India, ACC and Ambuja Cement are owning this brand. With this brand, we carry out waste management in our cement kilns. Last year, we co-processed, which means we utilized wastes in our cement kiln as a resource, as a fuel and raw material. Globally, about 54 million tons, and in India, we utilized about 0.7 million tons. When we understand, or when we try to understand smart city, one important thing, one important message is that it should be sustainable, it should be aligned with the sustainable development, and it should be livable. So if you want to do that, waste management is probably one of the most important aspects, because that really brings in what is required to live sustainably. Another important thing about smart cities is, unless we embed circular economy into this concept, it's unlikely that it will become a sustainable or aligned with sustainable development. And therefore, what I'm going to speak about is how do you really bring in circular economy into the processes in smart cities so that we start moving towards zero garbage or zero waste to landfills. We have heard and we have seen what landfills mean and what we tend to do. We just cover them up. But that's not what we should be doing. We should be moving from linear economy to a circular economy. We are used to produce, use, throw, generate waste. What we need to do is convert this habit into circular economy where there is zero waste for future. That means if somebody is generating waste, that waste could be time, that waste could be finance, that waste could be raw material, that waste could be fuel, that waste could be anything. If there is someone else to utilize that, that is what is circular economy. And that's what I believe the smart city should embed in. And the technology that we talked about in terms of automation, in terms of smart sensors, etc., they, when are embedded into the system, they help us to achieve that. Let's look at waste management. This is what will help us to achieve zero waste to landfill. See, all these individual constituents, if you treat them, they are usable materials. For example, kitchen organic waste, it can be converted into compost or biogas and utilized. Construction materials can be converted into sand and aggregate reutilized. You can utilize glass by remelting. You can reutilize plastics by recycling. You can utilize metals by recycling. There are some materials which currently we do not have recycling technology. They are called as non-recyclable materials, which in the new rules are called as segregated combustible fractions, which are like multi-layered packaging, resin, leather, rubber, tires, contaminated plastics, thermocol, and things like that, which is something that remains littered around. This is the material that we in Geocycle utilize it as a fuel and raw material. And when we utilize this material, this does not remain in the environment at all. It just gets utilized as a resource, and generally this is what finds place in the dump yards. So we are actually trying to utilize something which tends to get into dump yards, and not just that, if they are existing dump yards, we utilize that waste material. So if we really want to achieve circular economy, if we really want to achieve smart city, smart waste management, segregation is the key. How you will do segregation is something, there are various ways. The rules are talking about today. We need to implement. It is not difficult. It's only habit. It's only process. If we really want to achieve, again, zero waste to landfill, these are several methodologies which we call them as waste management hierarchy. So you have prevention, reduction, reuse, recycling. There's new things which are coming now, which we did not know, which is co-processing, waste to energy, and then incineration and landfill. I am talking about co-processing. Co-processing is utilizing waste as a resource. This is higher in waste management hierarchy than waste to energy, because waste to energy will give only 30% energy recovery, 0% material recovery. If you go to co-processing, you have 100% material recovery and 100% energy recovery. This is the technology which is substantial, which is totally aligned with the smart city concepts. What do we do in cement kilns? We feed these materials after processing and converting them into a useful material. As I said, last year we did something like 7 lakh tons of waste materials. They could be industrial, hazardous, non-hazardous. Perhaps you would be interested to know what happened to Maggi. All Maggi came to us, which was actually banned. All the date expired materials that you actually take it out of the shops, they all come to cement kiln, and we utilize them as resource, whether they are shampoos, whether they are juices, whether they are chocolates, whether they are anything that you talk about. Any hazardous waste we utilize as a resource. Any agro waste we utilize as a resource. And in municipal solid waste, what is not recyclable entirely comes to us, and we utilize as a resource. And that is where this technology helps. This is a very sophisticated, appropriate technology for managing waste, because there is no residue after the treatment. Once you put this waste material into the kiln as a resource, all the inorganic material gets utilized as raw material, all the organic material gets used as energy. It's as simple as that. It's called as co-processing, as I said, and co-processing is regularized in the rules, 2016 new rules. It is not just regularized, it is also given as a preferred option. That means if you can co-process materials, you should actually do that rather than incinerate or landfill. And in the new rules, landfills are actually not allowed for such materials. You can only landfill the inert materials. So this is how the progress, this is how the process will work, where you have municipal solid waste, you separate the segregatable recycling materials, then you segregate the kitchen waste, you convert that into compost, you segregate the inert material, you send it for landfill. What is not recyclable, you send it for co-processing, and there is zero landfill. And this is working very well. It is not myth. Entire Goa, the landfills are now no longer there. We have several towns where landfills are no longer there. They're all getting out of shape. So it is a workable option. They avoid creation of landfill. In fact, we have a town near our cement plant which is landfill free for last 6 years. There's absolutely no landfill at all. That's called as Madhukarai town. You are welcome to come and see. 6 years, no landfill, no dump yard. Coimbatore is adopting that technology now. We have several other municipalities in Himachal, then I talked about Goa, from Hyderabad, from Chennai, Jaipur, Katni, Jabalpur, Bangalore, Varanasi, now Lucknow, Kanpur. We are getting material which is non-recyclable, which otherwise would get into the landfill or dump yard, is now coming to us as a resource material in the cement kiln. What happens if we do that? We don't use coal. We don't use raw material, which is limestone. What happens therefore? That coal remains where it is. That means we are not touching the natural raw material and fuel which is there. It is remaining for future. We are utilizing waste as a resource. And that is where the sustainability comes into picture. And that's where the smart city starts working together, fully aligned with the concepts of sustainable development. We have 21 kilns in the country, and we have 7 pre-processing facilities. We have made more than 600 crores of investment. This is a business model. It works. Last 10 years, 12 years, we are operating. We have never made loss. And whoever sends materials to us is sending it for years together. Absolutely no problem with that. These are facilities which we have created, and that's all I just wanted to share. Thank you so much.